kick things off by weighing out our ingredients. You're going to need 20 grams of beeswax, 20 grams of sweet almond oil or safflower oil, and 20 grams of cocoa butter. You can really scale this recipe to any size you want, as long as you're using a 1:1:1 ratio of these 3 ingredients, and as long as you measure everything by weight. If you don't know how to use a scale, I've made a video to walk you through it, so I'll put the link to it in the description box below so you can check it out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put all of these ingredients in a little heat-resistant glass measuring cup. Now the size of beeswax chunks that you have will impact the melting time. I've got some larger ones in here, so this is probably going to take at least half an hour to melt. And now we're going to create a water bath. So I've got a little saucepan here that has about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in it. We're just going to pop this in here, and I'm going to go put this on the stove top. This goes a lot faster if you preheat your water bath, but for the purposes of this video, it's much easier to show you this all together. So let's go put this on the stove over low heat. While we let everything melt, we can prepare our molds. So you can use lots of different things for these body truffles. This is a cute little silicone ice cube tray that would work brilliantly. These are some little egg poaching cups that will also work really well. Or you could even use just some smaller measuring cups. So this is a 1/4 cup one, and this one is 1/8 of a cup. You could also use an ice cube tray of sort of any other shape. You could use the bottom of a shot glass. You could use really anything. The shape, obviously, of the body truffle and the size is determined by the mold, so choose your mold with that in mind. So it's been about half an hour and everything has melted through. So we'll give it a good stir here. And then we'll remove the measuring cup from the water bath. Ooh, that's pretty warm. And we can put the water bath aside, and we're just going to take a moment to dry off the outside of the measuring cup so that we don't accidentally incorporate any water into our body truffles, which would shorten their shelf life. We put that aside and grab our mold. So I've decided to use these cute little hexagonal sort of beehive molds, and now we pour. And now we'll just let those set up. So it's been about an hour and these have finally set up, and you can tell because they're opaque and uniform in color, and they've started to pull away from the edges a bit. This one had a little bit less in it, so it set up a little bit faster, which you probably noticed in the time lapse. So this contraction from the edges is definitely sort of the last thing you'll see, and it's quite important. Otherwise they can be too soft and you can damage them when you try to remove them from the molds. The amount of time they'll take to set up depends hugely on how big the mold is and then how warm it is in your house. So there's no real sort of definite set time to wait, so just watch for those signs. So I'm just loosening the mold here a little bit. This obviously really only works if your mold is silicone. This isn't going to work if you used a metal mold. And now we can just start to pop these out. Take care not to handle them for too long. They are designed to melt quite quickly once they've been touched, at body temperature. So if you hold them for too long, they will melt in your hand. So that's pretty much it. You can pop them into a jar or a bag of some kind for storage. You want to keep them somewhere relatively cool so that they don't melt. That's it. Here you go, body truffles.